Good morning. Welcome to Auntie Yaa'S Book Corner. How's everyone doing this fine, lovely morning? Hey, my name is Yaa'S Tobra, and we're here for our Saturday book live. So I trust that you've had a good week. Happy new month. We just started 2024 and here we are, it's June 1st. So let me ask you a question. At the beginning of the year, I know that we all wrote down some goals, things that we want to do. Where are you at? The thing is, if you're on track with your goals, kudos to you, bravo. But if you are not, let me give you a tip. Don't beat down on yourself. Just sit back, take a look at them, review them, revise, and then push. Okay. So, yeah, um, on this platform, we have our Saturday Facebook Lives, which happen every second Saturday. So, we do two programs in the month. Sometimes my co host, Boating, Russell, and I do a topic, or we invite somebody to come and share nuggets with us from the field of their expertise. Yeah, is not able to be here today. She's at work, but she might pop in on her break. So let's see what happens. And then during the week, there's any number of videos that you see on this platform for my books, my 5 books on Amazon. And then I do an author's corner on Wednesday. There's a book promo on Thursday, and there's a lot that goes on. Nuggets of inspiration, wisdom, motivation. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram. So before we go ahead, I am going to try and share to some groups and we'll come back and continue. Okay, that's interesting. Just give me a sec. Right, here we are. Don't mind me, I'm being very quiet because, as I say, I don't want to go. Um, do you have any great plans for this weekend? It's supposed to be, well, we're in spring, right? But it appears that we're getting today it's rainy, tomorrow it's sunny, that kind of stuff. But I do believe that these days the weather all over is quite unpredictable. Yeah. Oh, there's yeah.
Hi.
Are you on your break?
Yes, but unfortunately, it's a 15 minutes. So
Okay, no, no worries.
yeah,
That's fine. I was just telling them, you're at work and you might come in on your break. So
yeah. And I intended to do it in my car. I left my car keys in there. So
no worries, no worries.
okay, yeah,
Okay, so I finished sharing to wherever I have to share to as best as I can. Now let's bring up the topic again. Welcome. If you are scrolling along Facebook streets and you've come across us, it's Auntie Yaa'S Book Corner. We're having our Saturday morning lives, and today's topic is etiquette for social interactions. So my take on it is we're human beings, right? No man is an
hmm,
island. I have to
right,
talk to you. I'm talking to you right now. The way I
hmm,
talk to you makes a whole lot of difference. You know, we need to be able to manage how we interact with each other in so that the outcomes are positive. So what is your take? And we grew up
exactly.
with me, I say we grew up with courtesy for boys and girls and
Okay,
all that stuff.
girls.
Do we pay
That
attention to it?
even us who had it, who had access to it, and now I haven't seen that book in forever. So
Ages.
you can imagine, yeah.
And there's
Wow.
Emily Post. Mhm.
And I don't even remember anything from it, seriously.
This is
I
it. I just
real
know the title.
yes, yeah. Well, when the importance isn't, told to you, you see it as something
Mhm.
that you just have to go through anyway. But
Yeah.
just as you said, we're not
Hmm.
living in an island where we interact with people whether we like it or not. We have
Hmm.
to, yeah. So there are accepted ways of doing all this, like interacting with people, and you know
Yes.
and it's interesting. It's different across cultures, but there are some that really runs through all cultures.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah, because it's mostly about being considerate and being respectful. If you look at all those, how do you say it, ways of interacting or accepted ways of interacting with people.
Oh, hello, Eunice.
Hi.
How are you?
Mm.
Welcome. I trust you're doing well. We know that we'll see you in a little bit. So
Son. Yeah.
yes, yes. Carry on, yeah, with your 15 minutes or
Oh yeah. I forgot. Anyway, yeah. So if you look at it, it borders around, being considerate of others, your interaction, and
hmm
being respectful. If you have that in mind, I think that even if you don't know it, eh, like verbatim, what you're supposed to do, you
hmm
still be in, you know,
yeah.
you still, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I don't know if I'm supposed to give examples or what, but this is the intro, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So excuse me, Ken Abrako, please stop throwing. You don't patronize my comments, my platform. Don't come and throw your stuff in here like that, please. Yeah, simple, really. So yeah, like in terms
Yeah.
of etiquette, for example, you have to learn how to read social cues, right? Like we say, reading
Right.
the room. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Reading the room. Some people don't know how to read the room. So
Amazingly, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And sometimes you
So
get uncomfortable for them.
mhm. You see, what we're talking about right now is what this Ken person is doing, right? It's
Exactly.
social etiquette. You've come on
Mm-hmm.
somebody's platform, you don't know them, you haven't even asked for permission, you just come and throw things there. The person has spoken about it, you're still doing it. So
Yeah.
it's all about manners, really. Mhm.
Yes, it is. It is.
And
And
like, sorry.
no, I was just going to say, and right now it's missing. It's lost in schools. I think that the schools played some role in, teaching
Mhm.
manners and all that, but I feel it's missing now because
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, wouldn't
And
it start from home too? Training.
yes, I know it has to start from home,
Hmm.
but I feel that the school system was complementing it, so it enforced it even
That's true.
more, in
Hmm.
us, so that wherever you go, both school and home, you know what is expected of you.
Hmm.
But yeah, but now I don't know what's caused it, but maybe it's the overexposure too.
Hmm.
Yeah, because and I had this problem with my daughter.
Hmm.
She was just throwing hi and stuff, and I said no. If it's an
Hello.
elderly person, yeah, or if you want to
Hmm.
say hi, you say hi, auntie. That
Yes.
sounds better. But don't
Yep.
just say hi to everybody. It's not
Yeah.
acceptable,
Or good morning, even if the hi, if it's an adult person, good
Yes,
morning, good afternoon,
yes,
such and such. Yeah.
exactly. So things like that. It's like we're over copying.
Yes.
So I had to.
Overcopying who? Who are we overcopying? Yeah.
The West.
You you sound like me chrome for like, it's
Hmm.
good morning, Vincent. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I trust you're doing well.
Hmm.
So why is etiquette important then? because we've said what it is.
Yeah, I feel it's important because it does kind of paint a picture of who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
since we are not living alone or on an island, you're
Mm-hmm.
interacting with people. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
give an example of if you want to collaborate with somebody, and the world
Yeah,
is more of collaborations now. If you know,
exactly.
yeah, your etiquette would determine whether they accept you or not. And
Mm-hmm.
even when you're choosing somebody to collaborate with, you're going to look at
Mm-hmm.
how they present themselves before
How do
you
you
do
show
that.
up? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then when it also comes to like the professional setting, your
Mm-hmm.
etiquette also matters a lot. We might think that it's not important, but
Mm-hmm.
those are one of the things that I would say management on the top.
Tony, when you're correct.
Yeah,
Hello,
started.
welcome. Uh, oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's good to hear, Vincent. Great. So
Hmm.
yeah, I know that your time with us is short, so
Yes.
I'm going to ask you some question and then I'll ask you to highlight on it. Then I can continue the rest later. Let's focus
Okay.
on, we're talking of etiquette in social interactions.
Right.
So
Right.
let's talk about what we see in our community right now. Like, I'm talking about how, our mannerisms, our
Right.
comments, things like that. Is that
Hmm.
all part of etiquette?
Etiquette. Yes.
Hmm.
How you show up is I'd say how you dress, even how you dress, how you talk, how you
Hmm.
present yourself. It's like the whole package of you,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. So how you speak is also very important because hmm, being
Mm-hmm.
now it's like being disrespectful is the norm now, kind of. People don't find
Hmm.
anything wrong with it, but it's not acceptable. And um the social interactions, that is
Hmm.
where maybe somebody important that you might need help from would see you in a social setting before it might transcend
Yes.
into something else. And while you're out
Yes.
there portraying yourself as you don't care about anything and you're insulting everybody and all that, it might come to bite you in
Yes.
the where, yeah. And it actually paints a bad picture that might even affect your kids because we're
Yes.
humans and we tend to do that. It's
Yeah.
the normal thing to do, and then you catch yourself and then you think they are two different individuals. But before
Hmm.
then, your child might lose an opportunity that um, they could have got, to
Hmm.
help them. Yeah. So yeah,
Social
it's everything. Our
social
table
media.
manners, our speech, everything.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'm asking myself, I guess in our time we didn't really have social media, so I can't say what I'm thinking, but it's more like were these things there and just that we didn't know, or is it social media that has highlighted the lows to which we have sunk? Because for me, when I see a comment from a person, I look at the name and I'm saying to myself, does this person not know what this is saying of them at this point in time?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or even these social norms of agreeing to disagree. Like, I believe that in our society, we seem to think that if somebody has an opinion contrary to yours, then you are enemy. So then the insults start.
Enemies, yeah.
They default to insults because they have nothing sensible
Objective, yeah.
or yeah to say. What
Yeah.
are your thoughts on that?
Well, I feel that it was I think it was there. It wasn't like it wasn't there, but
Hmm.
if you're I don't know how to say it without sounding um
Snobby.
yes, you know what I want to say. But it wasn't everywhere. You expect it from
Hmm.
a certain group of people, but now you
Hmm.
see almost everybody, every section of people, you find
Yeah,
them doing it and they feel
doing
it's
it. Yeah,
okay. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's uh, I think if it's inside you, there's nothing you can do. There's no
Hmm.
amount of education that would wipe it away. You know, going to school and getting
So,
degrees does not wipe this thing away unless you learn it or it's inside of you or you build on it. I don't know, man.
but yeah, let me interrupt you. You and I sitting
Hmm.
here right now. So you think we can't also insult?
Oh,
It's inside us. We could, right?
yes,
So
yes, that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Oh, let me read. Tony says, I literally came across a certain video of someone on Instagram addressing how important it is to add value to your appearance and how you go about your personality. It's not necessarily about putting pressure on yourself to look good or to be positioned in a certain category by people, but you may be very awesome and brilliant, but sometimes your poor appearance can limit your ability and your confidence in the midst of people. That is very true. It's like how you
True.
show up,
How you
right?
show up, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So
it
what
speaks
what
a
you've
lot.
said addresses a whole lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about. So going
Right,
back to why etiquette is important, some of the things you've said, yeah, it's like politeness, kindness, good manners, right? They
right.
never go away. It's always there. And so it's when you have manners, you're able to interact with people properly. And then you're practicing good manners help create a positive atmosphere. You also foster better relationships in both personal and professional settings, as you were saying. So that is
Yeah,
why it is so
yeah,
important. Oh, you are going
yeah.
back, eh?
Yes,
Oh,
and
Asemo.
it does open a lot of opportunities. I'll give an example. I went to, I think, my first lunch with Sean's mom. I
Mm-hmm,
didn't know she was like watching me and paying attention. So
mm-hmm,
after we finished eating, she
mm-hmm.
said, "Where did you learn to,
Table manners,
yes."
cutlery to use.
She was, and she seemed surprised because she thought maybe
Oh, your country bumpkin
the assumption,
be.
yeah. And then, I mean, it does open opportunities. When I was in the States too, I had
Mm-hmm,
this professor who just liked me because of, she said, the way I talk and the
mm-hmm,
way I, you know, put things across. Because she's found out that the others are too aggressive or they want to, it's like they want to prove a point
mm-hmm,
unnecessarily, prove that.
mm-hmm.
I don't know what she was talking about, but yeah, so it's all about that. And
So what
what
was her
I
problem with you? Mantia
no, no, no,
Honas, I didn't get.
no, she actually took a liking to me because of,
Oh, okay,
she
okay,
said,
got
yeah,
it.
yeah, because of the way.
But this is the thing, the way we were raised to generally, anyway, all across the world. Sometimes when you are quiet and calm, people think that there's nothing to you. But these things,
Exactly.
those traits come in handy, right? Because if
I
you are put in
do.
a carry on.
I do love to be underestimated all the time. Like
Yes.
when I go to new places, I don't just start
Mm-hmm,
talking. I just wait. I read
mm-hmm.
the room, and
Watch.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I have to go
it's
back
important.
now.
Okay, well, thank you for joining
Yeah.
us. Hopefully
All right.
next week we can make it to TikTok. We'll see.
Hopefully,
We'll
yeah.
see. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
So yeah, it's next off we're going to look at rules of etiquette. So basically, rules of etiquette, like etiquette allows you to be yourself and allows others to treat you with respect. So you determine how you want to be treated. If you are in a social setting and say you are rude, talking loudly, talking abrasively, that is how people will meet you. Yeah. And of course, one of the most important things too is to be able to say please and thank you. Just give me a second. Today, everybody seems to think this platform is for doing their commercials. Talking of etiquette, yep. Right. And then also learn to say thank you. Sometimes we don't take these things seriously. Please and thank you are very important. And I always laugh and say that Abrofuno who came to teach us that, even here, you find yourself that in a workplace situation, they hardly say please. Your boss may come to you and say, oh, can I get you to do such and such? But because they say it in a polite tone, you'll respond and do or take care of that request for them. But so that's one of the funny things that I observed. Tony says, me call high school now, me who say me ya kechi wo and no maybe who using fork and knife nearly disgraced me in the midst of my peers. Me no me hopa, me no me hopa. Oh Tony, yes no. We live and learn. And I say that these days information is accessible all around. Like say you are in a situation, even this morning coming to this program, I kind of thought in my head, like if you are somebody whose husband is in the diplomatic corps, for example, Ghana, maybe they've posted you to Togo or Germany or wherever. These are some of the things that you have to know if you don't know it, but you can go to YouTube and say, how do I saw a picture somewhere, was it yesterday, of the table setting, and the knives and the forks and which comes first. All I know in my mind is you go from the outside in. So you pick the one on the outside, use it. The next course, there are things, information is easily accessible so that you don't embarrass yourself in any situation that you might find yourself. Yeah, let me flip my notes. And please excuse me, you are welcome. Be grateful. Like when somebody does something, say thank you. There are people who don't know, they think these things are not important, especially say mikrom for we take Yɛfa nneɛma traa bi, right? So, but the thing is, this is what I've been saying more recently, that we are one country. We are not an island. At the beginning of the program, I was saying to you that these are some of the important things. No man is an island. You have to interact with other people. So the country, Ghana, is not just by itself and everything. This is how we do things and we make noise. Oh, somebody's ways are bad. We are good and this and that. And yet, when you come outside, are you able to function? Will you be able to interact? If you don't know how to talk to people in polite company, and then you are surrounded by a whole bunch of people from other communities, how are you going to engage? You even have to be able to carry out a conversation. It's not a question of how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And then you are standing there. So unless when the person asks you a question before you talk, think of something, come up with something. Oh, how was your week? Hey, maybe you are in a meeting or a conference and somebody came from another place. You look at your weather. Oh, hey, we're having nice weather. How is it where you came from? Learn to make there's conversation pieces, things that you can talk about, and there's things too that are you can't go intrude there, but find things to talk about. Polite. Tony says we are not created to be an island. Also, learn to give genuine compliments. That is something that some of us need to learn. Be generous with sincere words of praise. If you see something that somebody is doing that is great, encourage them. These are rules of etiquette. We are in life interacting with other people. Sometimes you're doing something good and somebody around you, you know that they should. It's not like you are sitting there waiting for them to approve of you. No, that's not what I mean. But in polite society, it is done. I've seen virtual strangers come up to me, especially when I was at work, elevators. Maybe you're in a car, oh, that looks very nice on you. And they'll just see it. And maybe you see Ukromni, the person knows that you are looking good, but out of Uhoyen a hint, they won't say anything. Not that I'm waiting for that, but it's just things that we learn to do. When you learn to encourage and open to blessing other people, it all comes back to you. It makes you a better person. That is life, this part of life. Also, don't be boastful, arrogant, or loud. There are people that in social settings they take over, talking, chup, 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 chup. They don't even allow you to get a word in. For me, I remember when I was working, people say, hey, yeah, how are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say one or two sentences. Then I stop myself and I say, how about you? So that I allow that other person to also speak. But I found out that when I used to take the train to work, You see two women, for example, or two men talking, and one person is doing all the talking, telling all their life history, and the other one is just, oh yeah, this, that. I'm thinking, I always say to myself, how self-absorbed can a person be? Can't you stop talking about yourself and allow the other person also to get into the conversation and speak about their stuff, right? And also, in terms of etiquette, right? Like, you knowing how to manage yourself helps you to exercise self-control and good taste when you're in polite society. Like, you don't go making rude comments, even your voice, the way you speak, right? Some people, and I mean, you can't blame people for the voices that they have, but if you know that your voice tends to be loud, or you are an overly confident person, you may come across as aggressive to people. So you need to modulate your voice. Hello, Miss Sage. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. The other important thing is learn to respect people's personal space. Don't stand too close to people, or even if you have to touch somebody, ask them first. Like, if somebody is crying, you're in a situation, maybe you're at the office, or maybe you're a nurse at the hospital or something, somebody is having a crying, whatever. Is it okay to, touch you? Then, like, you try to comfort them. You always have to ask permission. Where we come from, this is a big no, especially where the female gender is concerned. Sometimes men come across, want to touch you and do all kinds of things without your permission. Like, the thought of personal space is non-existent. Those lines are so blurred. I remember I saw something recently about a woman MP, and a guy had gone to see her. I don't know if it was her birthday or whatever. And the lady is walking in the MP is walking, and the man is looking behind her, making comments about her butt. And I'm like, this is so inappropriate. And then the MP didn't say anything, which means that it's something that is accepted there. But if you do that here, oh, you'll be getting harassment charges. You don't do that. Tony says, knowing how to manage yourself too is one key. Knowing when to speak, how to act, where to react makes your personality outstanding and genuine. Yes. But sometimes we don't know how to behave, and so our mannerisms will come across as crass and crude. You know, on social media, for example, sometimes there's a conversation. Let me take TikTok as an example. People are talking, and then they are talking over each other, or somebody rudely interrupts the other person. Those are not, um, they are not, it's not polite to be doing that. I mean, if you find that somebody is talking and going on and on and on, you have to give them a cue that, oh, would you be able to wrap up shortly so that other people can also speak? I remember once I gave this example before. I'm sure that I was talking on somebody's platform, and as soon as I made a comment, some guy comes and says, oh boy, just yelling his head off. And I'm like, you know what? The typical example, he thinks he's a man and I'm a woman. And where we come from, maybe it's okay to disrespect women. So he's coming to shut it down. The host let him have it. And I told him that I don't accept that. I'm not here for that. No. We have to learn to engage with each other politely. Yeah. The other thing too is that be mindful of your language. Talking of language, there's particular phrases that you see from our people, social media, insulting people's parents, insulting people's parents with their, I don't know, body organs and things like that. It is so disturbing. Yeah. Try to use polite and respectful language. Yeah. Don't use foul language, swearing, even around kids. A lot of times, when you hear these people talking or making these rude comments, they are sitting in the comfort of their homes, and they are on TikTok or whichever, and you're insulting, and your kids are around, they are watching. That is what they also learn. Miss Sage says sometimes folks should even ask, can I give you a hug before they hug you? Exactly. Thank you. Because you have to respect a person's uh, personal space. You know, personal space. You put out your hand, and like you need to apply common sense that you can't go too close to somebody. You are crowding them. We don't do that unless you're on public transportation, where it's unavoidable. But even that, you don't get close to people that much. There has to be distance. So talking about language, it's very bad, and I mean from the top to the bottom. Old people, the politicians are doing it, even young people, and it's even worse among the young people, which means that you see, in our community, we are very big on speaking about generational cases. It's not the generational cases, right? It's learned behavior. Monkey see, monkey do. What the child observes you doing is what they are also doing. It's become normal. We've normalized it. Yeah. And there's another thing about, we're talking of rules of etiquette. Be a good listener. A lot of fights are happening on social media because people are listening to respond, not listening to understand before responding. You know, pay attention to what the person is saying. At best, even you can ask, I heard you say this. Is that correct? So you are kind of seeking clarification or trying to, I forget the word to use. You're trying to make sure that you understood what they've said. And if you are wrong, they will tell you what they actually said. So it helps avoid confusion. Also, show interest in people's opinions. There are some people that they always want to devalue others. Their opinion is the most important, or even there's a funny thing that, I know it's sometimes when you're talking in a group with people, there are some people we call social climbers. So they are trying to climb to the top. So by any means possible. So you're in a social setting and they chat with you, oh, hello, what's your name? Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, they look past you, looking around or looking at the door for the next most important. You are not important enough. So they just overlook you. They want to move on to somebody important because they are sucking up. That's what we call it. Avoid interrupting people, and also look people in the eye when you are speaking with them and listen carefully. Pay attention. And this is something I'm bad for. The next one, put your phone away, especially during conversations or meetings. The phone, like, give people your, what do you call it? Give them your rapt attention. I remember there was a time at work years ago, I had to go speak with somebody from the union, and she went to give me a copy of something. I forget exactly what she did, but that thing that she did told me that it was my cue that she didn't want to spend so long with me. I should move on. I mean, you can do that, but to me, I kind of found it rude too. There's a place and a time for it. Like, if you need to move on, you can say, well, thank you for coming by. I have my next appointment is in 5 minutes, so blah, 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 rather than the doing the inobvious one. But I catch on pretty quick. So I thought, oh, is that what you're doing? You're supposed to be the union. You're supposed to be helping me. Yeah, people should learn the art and skill of listening and not interrupting unnecessarily. Yes, there are people like that. They'll interrupt you and they think it's okay. You're having a conversation and they'll interrupt all. There's this particular person that I like them, I like their submissions, but I find every platform that I go on, this person is constantly interrupting people in different situations. I'm thinking, they have to take a cue and learn that you don't do that. It's become a habit. And so that's what I know this person for. Meanwhile, they probably don't know that I'm sitting behind in the background observing them. That's what I picked up on. Yeah. And we're going to talk about another one, time. Be punctual. You know, I've had situations where I'm supposed to have maybe a phone call, a phone meeting with a person, and the person is late, and they were not even going to call me to say that they are late. After an hour, then they are telling me, oh, this happened and that happened. Listen, in polite society, if you have an appointment with somebody, when I'm going to my doctor's appointment, and sometimes I get caught in traffic and I feel that I may not make it, I call and say, I'm on my way, I'm caught in traffic. Always call ahead, let people know that you're going to be late. That is a sign of, good manners, being polite. It's very rude to keep people waiting. Yeah, I grew up being on time. So people laugh, oh, as for her, she's always on time. I didn't learn it here. I learned it from my father back in Ghana. So if I'm going to be late, I make myself late. I'll say, oh, well, these my people, they are not coming early. So today, let me also go a little late. But more often than not, even when I'm talking to my girls, especially my younger ones, we're always waiting on her. So if we were back home, she would be in my mom's group of the late people. That when you are going to a place, don't say, oh, maybe we're giving you a ride to the school that you're working at for the day and you go, they say I'm supposed to be there at 12. Let's leave at 10 to 12. And we said, no, her older sister and I, we said, no, leave at 11:40 because you need to factor in traffic. You don't know what's happening on the road, right? So that if 10 minutes is taken, then you'll still get there on time. So there's nuances that we have to be aware of as human beings. And some of us choose to overlook it, or maybe we don't know, or we are oblivious. But we're talking about social interactions. You are showing up, interacting with people. So, based on some of the things that you do, what is the impression that you are giving people, especially in a professional setting? If you're always late to work, what does it say of you? Pretty soon they'll be writing things in your file. You are not reliable, really. It's what the impression that you give. And so this time thing is a big one because in our community, we're very always late for events. We don't start things on time. And as I said before, we need to not think of ourselves as just, oh, this country. We're interacting with other countries. It's a world concept, global thing. When you come out globally, can you compete with other people? So let's not be so insulated. I remember when I was growing up and I would read books about Canada or US or whatever, and then I would hear a term, oh, they are very provincial. And I'm thinking, what does that mean? But now I think about it, it's almost like they're trying to say that they are insulated, they're just by themselves. Do you know what I find? And let me put the cue out there that it's not to be disrespectful, but it's a genuine comment. When I'm traveling from Canada and I get to Europe, on the plane, you see the difference. Because I say that, in Europe, there's so many countries, different languages. So people, you might find someone who speaks two, three, or four languages. So they are used to that. They have a broad view of life. So the interactions are different. But when you come to Canada and US, look at us. We're far away over here. We think we are insulated. So in Canada, where I live, for example, we speak French and English. I like French from childhood, so I took French even at work and all that. I probably speak French better than a Canadian, so they seem so surprised because they are fighting about it. So they are insulated, they are just in their own bubble. But when you get to Europe, so I mean, I know there's a lot that goes on, other things that go in Europe that I don't really, but that broad view of life that they have, I've always admired it because when you're talking to people that you meet during travels, it's a different ball game. Yeah. So this is all part of it. Yeah, the etiquette thing. Also, rules of etiquette: speak with kindness. Yeah, and caution. Don't talk by heart, as we say. Some people, they open their mouth, boom, and then they say, when you see the insults, like you can't do that. You can't, because you hurt people, you wound people. If especially even if you are talking to a child, even an adult is sensitive. How much more a little child? Consider the effects of your words before you speak. I've said before that I had a colleague, even the art of writing, when you're in a work situation and something happens and you are very, very upset, write. No, no. You're very, very upset. Write it, put it away, come back, read it, review before you send. Um, Tony says, yes, Europe has a broad range of many things than the other continents. That's true. And Ish, and I went hugging Auntie Yaa'S when I saw her. No, Nanara, but that is that is different, right? Because we've interacted on social media, like we've interacted, so we know each other. So that's not what I'm talking about. When you're talking about complete, total strangers, broadly, I'm speaking broadly, not no. So don't worry about that. It was welcome. So Nanaraba says greetings from Gwe. Yeah. And so also, the other thing that is important, your body language. You can be in a social setting and you've gone, say you're a lady, and then you've seen your friend is talking to two other people, and you get introduced to them. You can pick cues from the body languages of somebody might react to you weird, and you can tell because the way they'll be so hello, but you can tell that something about you. I don't know what it is, but you see, all this we're talking about, this etiquette thing, it's a skill. It's a fine. Tony says, I hugged her and my sisters when I saw them in Ghana. Don't worry about that. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Like, check your body language, your body language. Don't give off hostility. Like, if you are very hostile, you meet somebody, you don't even know the person, and then you are showing hostile behavior. That says a lot about you, right? Yeah. So all these things are etiquette, like, and moving on. Also, don't criticize or complain in social interactions. I mean, if I know you and I'm talking about something, that's fine. But broadly speaking, say you are in a group and then all they hear from you, nya, 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 nya. No, no, no. Also, ignore gossip. Don't participate in it. There's a proverb somewhere in the Bible about, a fire. If stopping gossip is like stopping a fire. When you stop it, it won't go on because a fire can get out of control. Yeah. And this is the big one that I spoke about earlier. Disagree respectfully. Agree to disagree. I reserve venting sessions to close friends. Yes, I vent with close people. They know who they are. So, yeah. And the other thing, do not embarrass others. Hmm. She says, I am a hugger. What do I do so it don't look like I'm doing too much? Um, it's your people, right? So you can I'm talking of people that maybe are in your close circles or church or social settings. You know them, so you know who's people who want to receive it and people who don't. So if it's somebody that you've met but you kind of like them and they're interacting with you, you can ask, oh, is it okay if I give you a hug? Something like that. It's always asking the permission. Even with those who are close to you that you often see in your circle, they know you, so they may know you are a hugger. Yeah. I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but I hope you get it. Message says body language is important. It is like reading in between the lines. Yes, you pick up unspoken cues from the person. I've done that many a time. Right? So when you meet people, you can tell, you can tell. But the thing is, are you going to let it phase you? Sometimes even when people are being obviously rude, don't react in the same manner. Go the higher ground unless you really have to. There's certain times that some people will need to be set down lightly, so that they know that, hey, you can't keep doing this. But otherwise, if you're not going to even see that person again, why even worry? Go the higher road and then move on. Yeah. So yeah, I say demeaning people with rude jokes or unwelcome nicknames is disrespectful. What we see around us is how they'll come on social media and insult and insult and insult, and they think it's okay. Hmm. And Araba says, oh yeah, some people don't even like that you are bubbly, always smiling and down to earth. Yeah, too bad, eh? It's rather sad because life is very short. You can't go around acting like Nana Arba, I used to get that a lot because, especially us in church settings, people are so serious. We want to look so sanctimonious and pious. I don't care. I ain't having that. I'll smile and do whatever. I'm not saying that I'm always happy, but I just believe that you always have to present a cheerful countenance. Yeah, maybe there's somebody who's even having a bad day, and just that attention or that smile that you give them is what will lift them out of something you don't know. And then you're going to make kokoti like you, dear, you are so holy. And it's so bad, especially some of these older women, the way that I'm like, hey, where are they? Please, so you're not holier than anybody. Let's just move it forward. Yeah. And also, don't ask embarrassing questions about people's relationship. We are fond of that. Oh, are you married? Oh, are you having kids? Oh, this, oh, that. Is that all? Can we move the conversation past that? Is there anything else we can talk about, engage meaningfully about? Also, learn to be tactful. You don't go and ask silly questions. People trust you, so they may say, um, tell you their business. It's not to say you have to go repeating it. No, they trusted you. That's why they came to you. So, yeah. And then also, 20 brothers up, act and look your best. Take care of how you present yourself in appearance and in manners. So, Eunice, when will you give your son a brother or sister? Oh, I tell you, is it any of your business? You see, that's etiquette. You don't ask those questions. You don't. It's none of your business. You are getting into somebody's personal business, personal affairs. Now, Naraba says it pays to be nice. Did I tell you about how smiling got me a business deal for a relative? Yes, it did. You see, there you go. And there's things, I mean, like, I don't know. Sometimes this is why I said I wrote about practical Nyamisem in my devotional refreshing for a weary soul, how we worship in Ghana. All these things are in the Bible about a cheerful countenance, this and that. Laughter is good medicine, blah, blah, blah. And yet we go around wanting to be so serious, so pious. And who here, I can laugh, 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 laugh. I'd rather laugh than be crying. I don't want to be miserable. Nowadays, even there are certain situations you won't even get me to shed any tear. I'm not going to worry about that. I'll shed tear for genuine things. I'd rather be happy and laugh. So, talking about acting and looking your best, don't go about judging people and saying that, oh, as for this person, all they like to do is dressing. It helps. They won't help take care of the kids, but keep pushing you to to give birth, you know? So, just you are a package and you are presenting yourself. How are you showing up in the world? I did some Facebook lives about that. How do you show up? So you have to take care of all this, how you speak, how you interact with people. It goes a long way. Even in work settings, they can say, oh, they are not friendly, oh, they are very closed off. Um, there's boundaries, right? But in work situation, you have to know how to function so that a certain trait of yours may not be used against you. Yeah. Miss H says first impressions are very important. It is good to put your best foot forward. Sadly, some of us haven't realized that sometimes you come away from interacting with people for the first time and you go, wow, that's rather unfortunate. You see, you can be skilled, you can be educated to the whatever, but if you don't know some of these social nuances, etiquette, how to present yourself, how to interact with people, you get written off very easily, very quickly. Yeah. And as I was saying, these things are quite important because you want to be professional. You are not an island, like we said. You have to learn how to deal with people. And so, even in the work settings, like with us, right, our community, we are very secretive, even though we gossip a lot too. So things get out there. Let me put that in there. We are very secretive. Oh, why are you talking about that? And you don't have to tell everything. You listen. In my work setting, there was a time I told myself, you need to not be doing that. If something is going on with me that I know will affect my work later, as in me having to be absent or something, I always made sure I let my manager know. Yes, that is you using your discretion, because you can't, if you don't tell them, it's a different thing. It leads to worse outcomes. But you go, look, this is happening with me. I may need to be off at this time to take care of this thing. And then, because they are managers, they are not going to go running around telling your private life to everybody. So this secrecy thing, I know of somebody, for example, they had to go take an exam. If you're going to take an exam to go up in life, that is an important thing. Why wouldn't you tell your management? They didn't tell management, and somebody saw them. They ended up getting fired from their job because you lied. What is the secret about this? Or are you afraid? Like, do you think that your company wants to hold you in check, that they don't want you to grow? Yeah. Let me read Tony's comment. Tony says, we judge people too much. For the fact that I wouldn't do what someone else is doing doesn't mean they are not worthy. But the fact that I couldn't go where someone else is going doesn't mean they are on their way to hell. So I should sit back and judge them wrongly. That is all they do. Um, there's this pastor that I saw. I didn't really take a look at his name, so I can't remember. But he was talking about um, how we are raised, right? That it makes us so timid that we lose opportunities. So we don't embrace opportunities. And what he was saying made a lot of sense to me, because he says in childhood, don't do this, don't do that, you get yelled at. Of course, you become timid. Come and see the comment sections. Oh, this pastor has become a motivational um, speaker. He's not preaching about salvation, he's not preaching from the Bible. One other person put a comment that, but this is important. We need to hear these things. You can't be too religious, right? And you can't be too worldly. I'm talking if you're a believer. Even, I think it's in Ecclesiastics, it says, why be too holy? Don't kill yourself being too whatever. There's a balance. So for me, what the man was saying, I can't remember all of it, but it made sense to me, because those are topics that we've talked about before. Our upbringing is a whole lot, a lot of people who have moved from our countries, other countries within our continent, and come out, they tell you of the struggles that they have. I've always told myself that I really appreciate. Even yesterday, somebody's post, and I put in tree that I am the pastor my school, that my parents took me to school. If I didn't speak English, how would I handle myself here? Miss Sage said if they told about the test, someone might do juju on them. Oh, yes. Nanaraba says balance, diverse weights and measures are an abomination to the Lord. And opportunities are always comes to some people. The religiosity and the self-righteousness is our greatest problem. And everything, holiness, holiness. But these countries that are developed in the world here, are they focused so much on Nyamisum? There's Christians within them. In America, there's those who don't care about God, and they have staunch whatever. But America, even though America has gone down and other countries have come up, because it's like my daughter went to Japan for 2 weeks, and she says, Mom, Japan makes US and Canada look like a village. I'm like, wow, the level of advancement and development. And so then my younger one, Ajua, says, oh, so Ghana when? And then I went 3023. We started laughing. Sorry, but the way we do our things, we are not coming up. This is what I meant, that don't sit in a bubble and think that your way is the way. When you get out of there, even while you are there, listen, now there's people who sit in Ghana and they get jobs outside, and they have to come outside and do them. So you have to have the right mindset to come and engage globally. So that's why we talk about some of these things. Even when you are standing in a group and you are talking to them, you don't just get up, join, and leave. Oh, well, I have to leave now. See you later. Have a great day. And then you move. Little things. Okay. So, yeah. Um, if anybody has a question or an area that I didn't talk about, feel free to put it in the comment section. I'm going to post the link in the chat too, if You are brave enough. Oh, I'm just kidding. You want to come up and say a few words to that's fine. Yeah. So I'm going to go do some promos and then we will go from there. Okay. But basically, the topic has been etiquette in social interactions. Mainly, even the focus should have been just on, what is happening in our community, the insult, the this, the that, embarrassment. But we covered it broadly because etiquette involves a lot. So you can also do your own research, but as you go about your daily business, watch some of these things. I'll give the example of message. When Sister Ajuodo is doing messages promo on her page, she always says messages customer service is excellent. Mwah. And you know what? I'll tell you this. There's this store in Ghana. My mom lives in North Carnation. So in the past, when I've gone there, like say my brother-in-law would take us to this shop in Testano to go buy provisions. And the owner standing at the till, her face squeezed to high heaven, like we owe her. And I'm thinking, what is wrong with my people? You that I am helping, you are taking my money so that I get some provisions. Wouldn't you be gracious and smile and this and that? Always. So we don't understand certain things. And you even find it here. You go to some of our stores, local, whatever here, and that's how they behave. So we've come here, but we are not changing. And yet you go somewhere else, oh hey, you even go to the other nationalities, their shops, the way they will engage with you, you tell yourself, I'm going to go there, not go to my countryman's. And yet we look at it from the other side and so you which somebody is selling, we won't patronize. There's a place here in my city. I've stopped going there because the lady's husband, every time you go, like what? you know, I don't need that. Anyway, Nanara says my friends are mostly 10 to 25 years older than me. What are some of the things to watch out for so I don't mess up the relationship? Oh, Nanara, but you've already messed up. Just kidding. You know what? It's just engage with them, respectfully. For me, I'll say respect is a two-way street. It's not because they are older than you, so you always have to give it. But there's something that you are learning from them, and they also are learning from you. I'm learning from you. So it's just keeping the channels of communication open, respectful, and clear, and not taking each other too seriously. You kukuti, sometimes it's a bit too much. Anything that leads to discomfort, address it. Like maybe in the relationship, the person may come and say, hey, you said this, I didn't understand it, or maybe you offended them. Be quick to talk it out. And they keep calling you sis. Well, you are. What should they call you? Abofraba? No, people. I think that too. We've grown up with this thing of being so. The adult is always right. That it's you can't always like it when people see an adult respecting younger people, then they look at it weird. But that's how. If we did that, our society would be better because you'd be engaging the youth and tapping into their brains. They have sharper brains than we do. Yeah, we came from a different era. Not that we're dumb, we're not stupid. We have experience, we have whatever we have, but there's room to incorporate all of it. So, just enjoy it. Don't I don't know how to say this. A man should chill, just enjoy, be fluid, and But I know, say you won't go being disrespectful now, but if something comes up, a lot of times people don't want to talk about things. People don't want to be wrong because me na me a penny. That is a no for me. So yeah, but if I have a point, I'll argue it back and forth till we come to an understanding. Just because we've talked through something does not mean that we're quarreling. No. Oh, I made sense. Okay, great. Okay, let's do the promo. So, um, Sister Ajuodo Mensah is not around today. She does Abrabo Musem. I think her times have changed. It's at 3 p.m. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. Yeah, because at 1 o'clock my time I have a class, so I'm still not able to see that program. And today she has she does a program with Osofo Samuel Okoso. That is at 3:30 Eastern time, 1:30 my time, Mountain Standard. Yeah, and so please patronize those programs. I don't know what is on tap today, but I will see if I'm awake. I didn't sleep well, so who knows? Yeah. And so please patronize her programs. And we also are part of Authors Hub Y2A. Let me show you. So right now, Sister Jordo and I are able to go live on TikTok and invite people. So we're thinking of, oh, that's, yeah, anyway, that's that one, but I want the bigger one. Where is it? Here it is. Authors Hub Y2A. So myself, Sister Ayabwatma Boatin Russell, and Sister Ajua Odo Mensa. So where are our books? We have a total of 7 books between us all. So this is a collaboration to share nuggets on TikTok and Facebook. But we'll be doing a program on TikTok very soon. I was thinking next Saturday, but I need confirmation from Sister Ajuodo. So we'll see how that goes. So on this platform, the programs that we do here are based on my 5 books. Reflections for a Thirsty Soul, The Beauty of a Woman's Heart, Refreshing for My Weary Soul, Own It, A Guide to Taking Accountability and Responsibility for Your Own Life Journey, and My Unapologetic Self. So my 6th book is in the works. Yes. Um, it's a compilation of all the prayer points that I had to put together when I was in a particular church setting. And so I've decided that maybe, if I put it together and put it in a book, it would be a resource for somebody out there, especially for lay people. A lot of times, right, in our communities, we tend to think that only the pastor um, should know the word. We also have to know the word. Like if I to if I to put on there that, oh, I'm writing this book for pastors, somebody will probably look at me and say the audacity or the temerity. Oh, she thinks she can advise pastors, you know. She thinks she can advise pastors. And okay, Nanaraba, no problem. Take care. Thank you. So it's a resource for lay people, because the thing about us is that we're not very open to embracing people or developing talents within people. So if you're in a church setting, you are supposed to encourage people to grow in the area in which they are best suited. But I feel that this would be useful to somebody, because if you are told to go give a talk or go lead a prayer session, maybe you can flip through and say, I'm going to use this or I'm going to do that. Yeah. And Miss Nanaraba has gone, but she's been so gracious. She's doing my editing and stuff for me. So I appreciate that. Also, let me move to Sister Yaa'S Boating Russell and Sister Ajuodo have books, Unveiling My Life, and then Chronicles of BBR. These books are all on Amazon. And then to Pastor P is a coach, Blue Bridges Coaching. I've taken coaching with her. A lot of these things that we're talking about, how you show up in the world. If there's any issue, sometimes we're people, we are good people, but we may have some rough edges that need to be shaped right. And so as you're investing in yourself, you need to be willing to pay money to seek help to be a better version of yourself. She won't do the work for you. She will direct you. She's firm. Yeah. I don't like pampering. So for me, that works. I don't pamper people. So I wasn't pampered. So I ain't going to pamper anybody. I'll tell it to you straight up. I like people who tell it straight up, but we don't like it in our community. So if you're a straight talker, you are hated. Yeah. Also, Pastor P is an ASEA advocate. ASEA helps with your digestive. It does a whole lot of things. If you have any needs, please contact her and she'll be able to assist you. Miss Sika Educate also does programs, self help. She throws out any number of videos discussing trending issues or things, the development of the girl child, so many of that. Please contact her. And she does webinars too that you can attend to gain some more knowledge. Miss Sage, sageshare.com. Miss Sage has different products like t-shirts with maps of Africa, Ghana, jewelry, creams. Please contact her for your needs. sageshare.com. Who am I missing? Miss Aisha Ankra is not here, but she's an Avon agent. She does event planning, sells there's cooking utensils. Also check her wall, Aisha Ankra. Let me see. Okay, I will end it right here. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I'll catch you another time. So back to today's topic. We're talking about etiquette for social interactions. We talked about what is etiquette, why it is important, and rules of etiquette. So basically, it helps to have good manners. You are not an island, you're engaging with people. How you engage with them will open doors for you or close doors for you. Be known for the greater good, not the insults and what have you. It's okay to polish yourself, present yourself. When you meet people who've invested in themselves and are highly professional, you go, wow, that is, you feel good. Unless you are a naysayer. There's people who don't like that because they themselves are not invested in working on themselves. So they think it's a whole bunch of hogwash. But how you show up is so important. So it's important to know about some of these rules of etiquette. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your engagement. Take care. Continue to support us. And if you are doing anything that you need our support to, let us know and we'll be there. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.